Hey everyone, I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of You Define Wellness and the host of the Happy, Healthy, Thriving meetups that we have through a couple of our meetup groups that we have out there for wellness. I want to welcome you to today's session. I am really excited about this one and have been since I was introduced to our speaker. But I will get into her presentation in a moment, but what I would like to do is invite all of you to put your contact information in the chat box for those who are watching live. And for those who are not able to see that information, if you would just post on wherever you found this, whether it be our YouTube channel or You Define Wellness's website, and just let us know who you are and your feedback on this event. So that being said, I'm going to go into introducing our speaker. So I met this woman originally on the periphery. We were both at an expo of sorts a couple of years ago. And so I recognized the name of her business. And not long ago, a mutual friend of ours said, hey, you two need to connect here. And her business has been about marketing and helping you get the best business visibility you can. So I kind of went into that conversation with that mindset. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was blown away. That's not what we talked about. Instead, we talked about a life's journey and her giving back to the world. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to Michelle Hoagland, the genius behind something called the Boob Report. And of course, that's just making me laugh right there. So that's kind of funny. Michelle, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. Yes, it is. It's quite an interesting name. It does get a lot of attention. It actually started out as a private Facebook group for me to keep my friends and family updated on my journey through breast cancer. I was diagnosed 3 years ago, and we're coming up this month. We're coming up on 3 years since my bilateral mastectomy. So I was very lucky in the fact that they caught it incredibly early. I was stage 2, 6 tumors on the left side. So I opted to go ahead and go with the bilateral because I really didn't want to have to go through all this again.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's just take care of it right off the bat. But within running the Boob Report and keeping friends and family updated, I had two friends of mine who were encouraged to go get mammograms after seeing, my journey, and were unfortunately diagnosed as well. So
wow.
My husband was like, honey, you need to do something with this. You really need to turn this into something. So after some soul searching and purchasing the domain name and just really doing some research, I decided to turn it into a one-stop shop for women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer so that they can have one place to look for information. When I was first diagnosed, I was handed a sheet of paper with a list of doctors' names on it. And then I was going out and having to Google everything. And it's overwhelming, number one, getting that initial phone call.
Yeah.
And then number two, the amount of information that's out there. It's great information, but if you don't know what you're looking for, it can be incredibly overwhelming. So we are launching a website locally in the Denver metro area at first. And then our eventual goal is to go nationwide to have the Boob Report in every major city in the United States. And what it'll be is basically just a one-stop shop for the information that's out there. Why physical therapy is so important, the support groups that are available in your area. Where's the best place to get a bra after a bilateral mastectomy? And there's also going to be some great research information. I was very lucky, and I had a meeting with and I'm going to get this wrong because I'm so not a science person. She is a research molecular biologist that specializes in oncology and looks at how cancer forms, the cells separate, and different immunotherapies and things like that we can look at. So she brought up a very good point to me that a lot of people will go to WebMD or they'll Google stuff and they'll see, oh yes, well, if I, just to get, a little graphic here, she said one of her friends called her and said, so mom has just been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And I read an article that said, if she drinks my breast milk because I'm nursing, that will help her. There's just crazy information out there. So she is going to be working with me and gave me some great things to start with, to have an actual research page that women can go, and these research studies are peer reviewed by other doctors. So they're not just something that's, thrown out there willy-nilly. And that's hugely important to me, because I want people to know that we've vetted the
Yeah.
companies that we work with, that we are staying on top of the latest research that's coming out, the latest information. And we're going to have all of that tied in with the boob report, because, not only are you devastated from that diagnosis that you got, but you don't want to be getting the wrong information and doing something that could potentially harm you
Yeah.
in the long run. So that's where it all started. I'm very, very excited to be doing this. With my background in marketing, my husband and I actually own a small boutique marketing agency, which we work mainly within the healthcare industry. So I'm able to bring that personal side to my clients that I work with through my marketing agency, but I can also market the boob report, and anybody that I tell anything about it, they're like, oh, I have to work with you, which is really pretty amazing, because I think, it's just, I think with the internet and Google and everything that's out there, there is just so much information, and being able to have someone weed through that for you and have the stuff that's going to help you and not make you feel so overwhelmed in one spot that you can look at is going to be hugely beneficial for women.
Yeah. So there are probably dozens and dozens of websites and Facebook groups and the like for cancer survivors and those going through cancer treatments at the moment. So yours is going to be a little bit different than those, it sounds like, and that
Yes.
it's really dialed into the, how do I say this? You just said the research and the vetted professionals that you're going to be having on there. But what else is separating you from everyone else out there?
Well, I think what we're doing is, every woman's journey is different.
Yeah.
So there are some women that really want to be a part of a support group. There's some women that don't. They just want to look up stuff online. There are women who choose to go the traditional chemo radiation route, and there are women that choose to go the more homeopathic nature route. I am going to have all of that information on the website so that no woman feels left out. If there's a support group that is more religious based, that'll be on there. There's more millennial groups that are out there, because unfortunately women are getting diagnosed younger and younger. I'm trying to, and it's a work in progress, it's going to be ever changing, but I'm trying to be able to cover every aspect from the time they get that diagnosis through their journey, through when they're cancer free. There's just going to be that information out there. And it's not all going to be stale, here's your support groups, here's where to get a bra. We're going to have fun stuff on there too. There's a woman in Colorado Springs that is devoting a part of her photography business to photographing women who have been through a bilateral mastectomy in a tastefully sexy way that they can feel beautiful again. There's another woman who is a hairstylist here in Denver, that has gone through breast cancer, knows what it's like to lose your hair through chemo and the process of it growing back and not feeling very attractive. She has a part of her spa salon that is dedicated totally to women who are going through that process. Those are the type of businesses that we're going to promote as well, because we want women to know that someone has been through the process that they've been through. It may not be exactly the same, but it's something that another woman can relate to.
It feels like I'm seeing a big neon sign behind you with the word trust on it. And this is what this is all about, is providing those trusted resources. I love the fact of it's really not a support group where the chat online. One of the issues that I have with those is the misleading information that may be out there. Oh, hey, you should try this, standing on your head with one foot going east and the other foot going west. And, you're going to, you'll feel better, some of those ideas that are out there. So what you're doing is you're actually going to be putting out information that is they can rely on. It can't give promises that this is going to solve anything, but these are treatments options that definitely have been vetted by other people too.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and developing that relationship locally with the doctors, oncologists, the hospitals, the services that are available in this area I have a very close relationship with the American Cancer Society here locally in Denver, the Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers. I'm building my relationship with Rose Medical Center, and I have, you know, a very close relationship with Swedish Hospital because that's where I had all of my surgeries, you know, my treatment and everything. I think that's hugely important, and something that women need to consider is when you go through this process, you need to have a good relationship with the doctors that you're working with. And I was very, very lucky to have that. My doctors are very gung-ho about the boob report and definitely want to participate because they feel that calling to help women who have been diagnosed. And those are the type of people that we are going to surround ourselves with the boob report. Now, as we grow, the business model is going to be that I'm going to have someone like myself in each city that's going to run the boob report there, that's going to vet the doctors, vet the companies that we'll be working with. And we're going to do our very, very best to be as, you know, honest and truthful and provide the best information we can at the time.
Now, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of local publicity. You were on 9 News not long ago. That was pretty exciting. And you're getting, everywhere you're talking to people, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what we need. So I am sure you are inundated with, hey, I know someone who can help with this. In fact, we have that in our chat box right now. One of our participants here, Mary, knows somebody who does fantastic photography in Florida. So how are you managing all these different resources?
Well, that is a great question.
Coming from someone who has to do that on a daily basis.
Well, I have the benefit of, as I mentioned before, the marketing agency that my husband and I own. We work with doctors across the country. So it's a little bit different business model than what the boob report is going to be. But what I'm doing is I have a team of 5 women right now who are absolutely amazing that are donating their time basically while we get this up and running. And then once, you know, because this is going to be a business to business, it's not a nonprofit because it's my baby. I want to run it the way I envisioned it.
Exactly.
So, and with a nonprofit, I have to have a board of directors and all of that. So
you give up control.
Yes. So it is going to be a money-making venture, but it's going to be free to women who are using it. So businesses are the ones that are going to be paying to be a part of it. So what I'm doing right now is going through and just filtering, and eventually I'm sure what I'm going to have to do is just get a big map of the United States and start putting the contacts, you know, in there that way. But it's overwhelming, but it's overwhelming in an amazing way because I feel like people are so excited about it and they want to be a part of it, which is fantastic. I've already got people in Salt Lake City. I've got Chicago. I'm originally from Dallas, so I have a lot of family and friends down there that, you know, we can really get the Dallas-Fort Worth area built up. But I don't want to say it's overwhelming in a bad way because I'm so excited that it's a dream and that it's actually going to be coming true, you know? So I will manage it. I will make it happen.
You know, having been in your shoes just almost 4 years ago with the launch of my company, and the exact same thing where everybody is jumping on board and giving suggestions and ideas. The only advice I have for you is get a really good client record management system, a CRM. Because then you don't have to have a map with all these different little pictures all over the place and notes and everything, because it will get unwieldy really, really fast. But, you know, on this call, I can tell you that we have somebody from Colorado. We have somebody from Wisconsin. We just had somebody join us, and I'm not sure where you're from. We invite you to introduce yourself in the chat box, and you can find the chat icon down at the bottom of this screen. So, you know, we're already getting some nationwide presence here for you.
Awesome.
In addition, so that, and with our posting it on our social media, we have connections all across the United States. People are going to be jumping all over this. So I want to open it up for some questions. Is that okay with you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So if anybody has questions about what the boob report is going to be all about, Michelle and her journey, at any level, feel free to speak up. And Mary, it looks like you just unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I have a quick question, Michelle.
Sure.
You say that the services are going to be free for the women who are using them, but it is it's not a nonprofit. So where is the money coming from?
It's coming from the businesses. So the website that is available, and I'm sorry, I didn't make that very clear. The website is available for women to use to
Okay.
find doctors, nutritionists. We have here in Denver locally, we have LifeSpark, which is a nonprofit that does Reiki, massage, healing touch. So that obviously the women don't have to pay for when they go through that nonprofit. But the main goal is to have all of the information in one spot so that when they're sitting at home, they're overwhelmed. They just have a question. I've got burns from radiation. I'm not quite sure what to use. They can log into the Boob Report and we've got that information for them because we will be working with companies.
So I get that part, but the providers, like a massage therapist who's part of your organization, is providing free massage to the women. Who pays her, or does she ever get paid, or how does that work?
If she's a nonprofit, that's their business, how they figure it out. I don't manage anybody else's business. They're just going to be, so for example, LifeSpark would be part of our nonprofits that we'd have a whole page dedicated to them, and they provide that services. They get money through donations, but they will be paying us to be part of the Boob Report so that we market them. We're basically, coming from a marketing background, I'm going to have all this information together, but I'm also going to be marketing them through the Boob Report, through Facebook, through pamphlets that we'll put together, because there will be little packets in the doctor's offices who are participating with us that they'll hand out to women who have been diagnosed. And there could be, for example, from one of the massage therapists through LifeSpark, there could be a little coupon to reach out to them. Things like that. Yeah, we're getting all of that set up.
Let me clarify something here, since we are recording this, is for LifeSpark Cancer Resources. It is a nonprofit organization here in Colorado, Mary, and they do not do massage. They have massage therapy practices who donate the use of a room. What they do is Reiki and healing touch, and a woman, or anyone with cancer can apply to receive 12 weeks of free treatment. The therapist or the Reiki practitioner or the healing touch practitioner do not get paid. So that's their pro bono work. But the room is donated for them, and they develop a relationship with the client that can continue after that 12-week period of time. What's really important also is that those services are not just available for the person going through the cancer treatment. It is also available for their caregivers. So they've done some fantastic things. They do have tons of fundraisers out there. My organization supports LifeSpark Cancer Resources. I wish they were nationwide, but they're just expanding in Colorado, and that's they've got to do what they can do. They have more people who are seeking treatment, I think, than the actual practitioners, but the practitioners have to go through additional training in order to be accepted to provide services through LifeSpark. So it's a fantastic organization. I'd invite you to go to their website at lifesparks.org and learn more about their organization, because they're doing some great stuff.
Okay. One other question. Are you working only with women who are experiencing breast cancer, or is it open to other cancers?
It's mainly breast cancer.
Okay.
It is breast cancer. Yeah, because that's where I'm coming from. That's where my journey was through breast cancer. Eventually, we are going to have a section for men, because men are getting diagnosed with breast cancer as well. But right now, just starting out, our main focus is women with breast cancer.
Okay, thanks.
Amazing. So where are you on the launch of all of this?
We are going to do a soft launch in January of the website and get that up and running. I've got people lined up who want to be a part of it. So we're getting all of that set up in the background. And then probably what we're looking at is in June, doing a official launch with a big party and announcements, and hopefully I can get back on 9 News, and promote it that way. But I'm going to start sending out little things on social media and marketing different areas, but we'll have information in the doctor's office first quarter of 2020 and just be going from there. I don't know. My hope is that this just takes off like gangbusters, but I want to be prepared and have our processes in place. So if, hundreds of women decide to get onto the website, it doesn't crash. So that's why I kind of want to do a soft launch and work my way up through the next 6 months, the first 6 months of 2020.
Oh, that's awesome. So the people who will be watching this video, the practitioners out there, are predominantly alternative and holistic and integrative care practitioners. And so it's not the oncologists and that they're going to be working with. So can you talk a little bit about, we've mentioned it briefly, but what that's going to look like on the website, the access to alternative services or knowledge?
Yeah, I'm trying to surround myself, because I fully believe in all of that. Again, I was very lucky that I did not have to do radiation or chemotherapy.
Yeah.
I did not take the tamoxifen. It was recommended by my original oncologist, but I just, the more research I did on it and talked to different healthcare providers, it causes cancer in other areas of the body. So I didn't want to do that. So luckily, my current oncologist that I'm working with, Dr. Diab, is very open to alternative forms of treatment, as long as I stay in contact with him. So, which, of course makes sense. So I firmly believe in organizations like LifeSpark, massage therapy, acupuncture, making sure that your diet, you have a healthy diet. There's just so many chemicals out there. So yes, that is something that we are absolutely researching. I'm reaching out to people in my wheelhouse now, to have them be a part of it. Again, vetting them, because I think, again, there's no right or wrong way to go through this journey. I want to provide all the information that I can, so that someone who's coming in that doesn't want to do the traditional radiation chemo has the options of the alternative.
Or if they want to do it in conjunction with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can connect you with some different modalities if you want to.
Yeah.
There are some who are coaches, so they're dealing with the mental side of the cancer treatment, and that's all they focus on. Because it's whole body. It's not just the oncologist out there. It's so much more, as you know, having gone through it. I was recently connected with a woman who, on Facebook, and I send out a little message of, hey, this is great, but maybe we should get to know each other if we're going to be friends, type of thing. And I asked her why she had reached out to me. She was from the East Coast, and she said, well, I saw that you're in the wellness business, and I've been going through cancer, and I don't know what form of cancer. And she said, I've just had so much depression, and I feel like I'm the only one who's gone through it. So I'm writing a book about it so that I can help other people, because I know there has to be other people out there, but I don't know who they are. And I just had to laugh. I was like, I can connect you with a few. Well, I know a few. You're not alone.
No. And that is the thing that I think is what I want, the hurdle I want to overcome, is that you're not alone. And I think it's not, a few years ago, people just didn't talk about breast cancer. Now it's sort of the in thing, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and pink is everywhere. But now that October's over, you don't see the pink everywhere. It kind of goes, we've moved on to the next thing.
Right.
And I am completely and honestly transparent about my experience. The Boob Report also was born out of, I had a lot of survivor's guilt. I didn't have as hard a journey as some friends of mine did. I have two other women that I know, that I've known for quite a few years, that almost died going through their treatment for breast cancer. So my thing, the guilt that I felt was almost overwhelming. I mean, there were days I felt like I just couldn't get out of bed. Why was my journey so much easier than theirs? What's happening? So I've turned that into really making the Boob Report something that I can be proud of, and that I can offer to other women, so that they know that they're not alone. The mental aspect is a huge aspect. I mean, I'm totally honest here. I still suffer with depression. And so that is going to be something that we will have on the Boob Report as well, is, it's from head to toe. It doesn't matter where you get, diagnosed. You get diagnosed in your breast, but you're going to feel it from head to toe in one way or another.
So, I've got all these little questions I've been writing down over here. You're not planning on doing meetups for the boob report, is that correct?
No, I'm not sure yet. Like I said, this is my main thing is getting the information out there, and then my goal is to always evolve to whatever the needs are to the community. So, there may be, say, for example, in Florida, in Tampa, they may love to have meetup groups, but in Chicago, they just want to do something more along the lines of maybe a once-a-month support group that's Zoom. So I want to make it, as we grow, be organic within that city and what that region needs.
So one thing that I want, and I'll jump to, I'm sorry if I interrupted you there. One thing I would want to offer to you is, hosting a meetup group, first of all, it's another expense because meetup's not free, that I own 6 meetup groups in 3 different states. So, one thing that we might want to play with as we go down the road and we evolve this relationship is having the boob report meetup within our meetups. So that we can tap into people who are already interested in healthy living and just see if, kind of fly it up the flagpole and see if there are enough people who are interested in doing either an online event or a live event. And I'd be more than happy to help coordinate that.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, we have those in California, Central Valley, California, 2 in Colorado and 1 in Wisconsin. And it looks as though we're going to be starting one in Texas and 1 in Arizona. So
nice.
We're just growing.
Growing.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you the next question that I have. And while you are doing that, I'm going to post your contact information in the chat box for the request that we have here. But the question I have is, you've mentioned vetting a few times, and you and I have talked about vetting before this call. So what have you decided to do in terms of vetting? What does that mean to you?
Well, right now, the people that I have on board, I've worked with in the past. I know who they are. I know their work history, and they're insured and all of that. So we're good to go there. Going forward, as you and I discussed, there will be some background checks. There'll be, companies that will go through and look at their history and just make sure that they're who they say they are, and they're providing the services that they say they are. Now, I know as we grow and we go nationally, eventually some of these companies that we're going to work with, I know there's one company, and the name escapes me right now, but they are a national company that actually goes through and works with agencies, cleaning agencies within cities, and they vet. So they only work, say, for example, in the Denver area, there's only 6 companies that they work with in the Denver area that will come in and clean a woman's home who's going through chemotherapy. And it's no cost to them. It's no cost to the woman whatsoever. But that national company has already vetted the companies within that they work with. So that, that is a process I'll go through. And then, as we get boots on the ground in each individual city, then we'll start looking at locally the vetting process. That is also something that we're setting up. That's why I just wanted to launch here locally in the Denver metro area so that I could really have a handle on it. Figure out the pros and cons of doing this or that, and make sure that everything's above board before going national.
That's exactly how I launched my company. You've got to create it. You're creating something that has not existed before. So you've got to create it. And as I explain to people a lot, it's start, adjust, restart, adjust, restart, constantly, because that's what you're having to do. You have to see what's going to work and what's not. And, I just added a whole bunch of new features to our provider directory online, and it crashed the website, and I've been unable to get into it for 2 days. So, you've got to be careful as to what you're adding and what all you're doing. So that sounds fantastic.
Right.
Michelle, I have a question for you. What can we do? I mean, since we're local, what can we do to support you now to get you more exposure, or, whatever it is you need?
Oh, well, Julie, thank you. That's awesome. I actually, what I would love to do is, being on Nine News was fantastic. It was a very exciting experience. I will share with you guys, I'll be completely honest here. When I was there, it was so exciting and overwhelming. I really don't remember what I said. I had to watch it afterwards when they posted it on the website. My husband was there with me. He was the one taking all the pictures. And he was like, you did great. You sounded awesome. And I was like, I couldn't even tell you what I said. I was like so surreal. I wasn't even there. But I would love the opportunity to speak to different women's groups. That's what I would love. And I would love to be there live so that I could, this is fantastic. And I love this. And this is eventually what's going to be happening as we grow nationwide. It's going to be Zoom and meetups and things like that. But I would love to be able to be present. I am speaking at a breast cancer support group out at Skyridge next week. And so awesome. Things like that, you know, women's lunch groups. I'm speaking at one in February. I've already got one lined up there. I spoke at eWomen. Julie and I are part of eWomen. Just any opportunity that I can get to just, even if it's just 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, to let women know that this is coming. And it may not be something that that particular woman is going through, but she may have a family member or a friend. And that way I can stay after and I can speak with women, because I really, I want it to be, even though it's eventually going to be national, I do want it to have that personal feel. And I want it to be something that women feel comfortable with and that they can trust.
That was a really good question, Julie.
Yes, it was. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So is there a mailing list that we can join to be kept informed, or what's the best way for us to be kept informed?
Actually, right now, the best way is to do the Facebook group. And I do have to approve people joining, because it's not that I'm leaving anybody out. I just want to go through and make sure that it is a valid profile, you know, because you know how Facebook is. They've got some of these funky profiles out there now. So I do go through and make sure that it is a valid one. And we're posting on there. I try to do a live video every Monday. Unfortunately, I had a tooth pulled yesterday, so that didn't happen. But I'll probably just do a, you know, redo Tuesday or something. But I post information in there. I'm keeping people updated on what's going on with the website, and just putting things out there of, like what Julie asked, of being able to speak in front of different groups so that I can get the word out here in the Denver metro area.
So I'm on your Facebook page right now, and I have to say there's something that you have done that I really like. I just sent you a request to join it, just so you know. So it's still showing pending, so I'm still seeing it as everybody would, the general public who have not yet joined, is that the content is accessible to anyone who finds this. So if somebody just wanted to stalk it and you know, read and yet not engage in it, they can't comment on it, they can't do anything except liking things. Well, I guess there is some sharing that is going on, but you can't comment if you're not a member of it.
Yeah, if someone wants to put a post in there, it's pending approval.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So, but I like the fact that somebody who is going through this and they're not ready to commit to joining a group can get information on it. And one of the things that is on here is, if you scroll down to October 25th, is a link to her video at 9news.com. And absolutely encourage people to do it. And I'm with you. The picture that they chose for it, I mean, there is
it's where the link is, and I just haven't taken the time to go. It looks like I'm going to be sick or something. It's not. I was like, oh well, that's what it is.
Looks like you're going to cry.
I know, right? Well, you know, and to that point that you mentioned, that when I always say that every woman's journey is different. I have been my plastic surgeon, who I've developed an amazing relationship with. She has sent women in my direction who have been diagnosed over the last, you know, couple of years, and said, I just had a patient. She seems very overwhelmed. Would you mind if I connect her with you? And I'm like, absolutely. I get the initial connection. And what I do, and I do this for every single person, there are going to be some women that I talk to on a daily basis. There are some women that I give them my contact information. I put it out there. Every woman's journey is different. I just need you to know that I'm here for you whenever you're ready to talk. I'll never hear from them, but they have my information. There's no right or wrong way to go through this. I personally did not go to any support groups. I have friends that was their lifeline. That's what they needed. So there's no judgment whatsoever with the Boob Report, and there can never be any judgment from anyone in that woman's life of what she's going through. That is her personal experience. And that's my goal with the Boob Report, is for them to understand that and know that that's okay. That's okay for them.
What a huge heart you have.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, that is just wonderful that you are giving of yourself that way. And you're right. Every woman's journey is different. And sometimes just knowing you have the lifeline doesn't mean you have to grab it.
Absolutely.
And that is fantastic. And as you grow nationwide, because you will be nationwide, I have no doubt about it, just as you have no doubt about it. You're going to be limited in the amount that you can do that, though.
Yes, I am. And it's going to be a process of bringing people on board. It's going to be a pretty strenuous application process to have someone be me in each city.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to really, pick the right person, because not only does it need to be the right person for that city, they need to have the feel of the city, the communities, and just be a part of it. But they also need to understand, I don't want to limit it to just women who maybe have gone through breast cancer, because there may be just an outstanding, amazing woman in Chicago that will just rock it there. And she's never been through cancer. So I don't want to limit it to that, but I'm going to have to be very particular about who I have representing the Boob Report, because I want that, to use a marketing term, I want that brand. I want that personality. I want, that kind, compassionate. The words that I chose for myself, I don't know if everybody does this, but a lot of people, the end thing now is to choose a word for yourself for the year.
I do that every year.
Yeah, for 2019, I couldn't limit myself to one word. So it was confidence, courage, and compassion. And that's what I've based the Boob Report on, is those three things.
That's awesome.
Looking for. And I'm going to carry that into 2020, because I still feel that's a huge part for me, is into building that. And also for my marketing agency as well. My husband and I were looking at, the way we promote ourselves, and the doctors and healthcare providers that we work with. We're very particular about how they represent themselves in the community and how they work with their patients. We don't work with just anybody with our marketing agent. And I want to carry that through with the Boob Report, because, these women, I want to be a place of trust for them. I want them to know that when they, click onto the Boob Report website and they're going through and they're looking through that information, that I have made sure to the best of my abilities that is truthful, honest information for them.
Do you have people chomping at the bit wanting it right now?
Yeah, I do. I do. I want it right now, but I just want to make sure I have an amazing woman who's working on my website right now, and she's unbelievable. She's had some hard times in her life, and this is an awesome focus for her to be able to give back in this way. And the cool thing is that this team that is helping me will be a part of the Boob Report, the original Boob Report, and will be something that I market and focus on and really promote. I have a photographer, a branding marketing person, my website person, and they've just been absolutely amazing in helping me. And I want to, just shout from the mountaintops how wonderful they are and how great they are in their business, because that's how they approach their businesses as well.
That is amazing. I envision nothing but great success with all of this.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so ladies who are on this call, any other questions? I mean, holy cow, we've covered so much, Michelle.
Yeah.
What other last words do you want to leave us with?
Well, You know, I think right now I am so grateful for the fact that I'm here. I
Yeah.
joke a lot with a lot of my friends that know me very well. I do. I still struggle a little bit, even though, you know, my journey wasn't as difficult. I do have nerve damage on my left side from my bilateral mastectomy. So I've got the tingling in my fingers and stuff. And I've read articles and talked to different doctors that there's certain things, you know, you don't ever truly get over cancer. You may not be, you'll be cancer free, but there's still going to be the effects of
Hmm.
going through that. So I tend to joke and say I'm upright breathing with a pulse. You know, everything else is just, that's just life. Um, but I am incredibly grateful that I'm in a position that I can do this, that I
Hmm.
can give back.
Yeah.
I am pretty much of a softie. I cry at holiday commercials. I'm going to start, you know, in the next few weeks with all the holiday commercials and holiday movies. I'm a big blubbering mess, but I wear my heart on my sleeve, and
Mm.
I'm so grateful that I have an avenue that I can give back that will be supportive for other women and can grow. And, you know, eventually the businesswoman in me, I will make money with this, but then I can hire other people. I can hire other people to work for me and provide a salary for them.
Mhm.
So that's going to be, you know, big picture. It's just going to be a great way of being able to give back, provide an awesome service, and eventually, you know, provide salaries for women in other cities.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Well, I think we've covered everything that we needed to cover on this one. This is so beautiful. And this is what we're trying to use these happy, healthy, thriving meetups within a meetup, as I'm calling them, is to share information to help lead the our lives to their fullest. And learning about things like this coming out is just a fantastic use of this platform. I'm so glad that you were able to do it today. And I thank you so much for your time, as well as to those who are watching as well. I thank you for your time. And as always, we invite you to go to youdefinewellness.com. That's Y-O-U, definewellness.com. We have this video that will be posted there later today, but we also have more than 100 other videos on healthy living subjects for you to use as your resource as you're going down your wellness path and looking for other options. And with that being said, everyone, any last words? Okay, with that being said, I'm going to end this recording. And again, I thank all of you for joining us today.
Thank you, Denise.